starting to get a picture of him in the mirror.
Yeah.
While he's there. They can hear us right now, too.
Yep.
Yes, they can. Hey, guys, it's Chris with Hospitality Happy Hour. And guess where I'm at today? You guys take a guess exactly where I'm at. I'm not going to tell you right now, but I will tell you. I'm here with Mr. Alex Bourgmont. Did I get that right?
Good enough.
I'm working on that,
Yep.
okay? We are here at Bourgmont Winery. Did I get that one right?
Good enough.
Yeah. Oh, good enough. Well, whatever. We're out here in Bucyrus, Kansas, out here south Overland Park. Really, I don't want to say Overland Park, really, right?
Yeah, we're in Bucyrus, but we're right off the highway, so we're 32 minutes from downtown Kansas City, Missouri.
Yep.
So you're out in the country, but you're in the middle of the city.
So it's funny how I came across this is because of the fact that my buddy and I, James, we were cycling out here, and we're cycling, and I go, "What is that place?" He goes, "That's a winery." So I said, "Dude, let's go check it out." So we came up here, we checked it out, and you actually gave us a couple of tastes while we were on our bike.
Well, you know, that's the funny thing is most of the time we're trying to market our winery by making good wine and by being nice and polite and actually engaging with people that come through the door. And we found that that's kind of the best way to do it. So is to really make something good and share it with people. And if we get our wine in front of people, they're going to enjoy it. Cause
it was awesome. And it was tasty.
It was really fun.
But unfortunately, I can't taste any of this right now. But
well, you know, you're in too good a shape. That's the problem is you need to come back when you're
when I can drink
mode,
again and stuff, slob mode and things, all that stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Alex, let's talk a little bit about the winery, and let's talk about I've got a few questions for you, and I'm sure some of our viewers may have some questions for you also, okay? So tell me, who are you, Alex?
I'm the general manager here. So we started this vineyard and winery almost 7 years ago, kind of on a lark. We started a little vineyard in the back of a piece of property just up north of us here. But instead of normal people planting maybe 40 or 50 grapes, we got 4,000. And we started putting them in the ground because we knew we could make really good wines here in Kansas. We just knew that you required a lot of time, effort, energy, and to be honest, stupidity. Because you had to be so stupid to believe that you could do something that was possible, but no one was really focused on doing. So we put a lot of effort in. We started the vineyard first, and over time, it just kind of kept snowballing. So we went from 4,000 vines to 8,000 vines to 13,500 vines. And then during that time, this property became available. It laid out perfectly for a vineyard and winery. We've got an event space, winery, beautiful lake and vineyard here on the property, orchards, and it was too perfect not to do it, and it was too crazy not to do it. So we decided to really embrace it and to really try and make something special. So,
you know, it's funny talking about that pond out there / little old lake and like that. Every time I come cycling by here, I always tell my buddy James, dude, I want to go jump in there and like cool off and then get back on our bikes and take off.
Oh, you wouldn't be the first person during the harvest season, which actually just started last Saturday. At the end of the day, you start making wine, you're sweaty, you're covered in grape juice, you're sticky. That lake is all spring fed. I'll be honest, I wouldn't say that I would recommend for everyone to jump in there, but
it's not the cleanest thing you're saying.
Well, it is actually, it's all spring fed, so it's perfectly clean. You can see all the way to the bottom. We have the most aggressive bluegill population ever, though.
So we got little piranhas in there going to be nibbling on you.
You know, you get fish hickeys. It's really fun.
Nice. I think I need a fish hickey.
Yeah, well, you know, there are a lot worse ways to get it, I guess.
That's for sure.
But yeah, so during the harvest season, usually the staff ends up in the lake, and actually people, when they rent the place, they're not supposed to, but I've heard that they might find their way in there a time or two.
I'm sure they do. Absolutely. So we talked, you guys been in business for 7 years now, right? How's business going?
Despite everything, it's been going really well. The wines have been really good. We've had a bit of trouble the last two vintages. It's been kind of a weird, wet, rainy year the last few years, but we've been managing to make really good wines. And, you know, we had some fun last year, but we found a lot of ways to get around the COVID problems. You know, we've embraced being outdoors. It's beautiful out here, so it makes it a lot easier. But over that time, we've actually done really, really well. So I'm shocked as anyone.
Hey, considering that hurricane we had last weekend, right?
Yeah, no.
That was not a rainstorm. That was a hurricane.
Actually, that's what I've been doing all week is putting grapes back up on their trellises because actually even the whole rows of grapevines like this, a couple of them actually got blown over, which I didn't even know was possible. So that's been a really fun week. Standing there actually working out. It's been basically a workout where you just lift grapevines like this for about 6 hours, and it really it's a
Well,
great
if you need
workout.
some help, I've got a son that's holding the camera right now. It looks like he could help you out there, right?
Well, you know, you might get, if you spend enough time here, you might get drafted, because about 40% of our staff got married out here before they actually
Oh, wow.
started working here. They decided they liked it, and they were like, hey, do you have any job openings available? And if you can survive your wedding and your wedding stress, and you can do that kind of while being a nice person and dealing with all that, you know, it's not going to be any more pressure than dealing with your mother-in-law. So we hire the people that can deal with their mother-in-laws.
There you go. Absolutely. Hey, let's talk about events. So we're talking about events. What kind of events you guys got going on out here?
Well, we do everything from weddings, corporate events, and then we actually do a lot of live music wine releases. So about one Saturday a month, we'll have that. We also have our harvest parties every Saturday here through probably October. We'll have a harvest party on the days where the weather permits it. We'll have food trucks or a barbecue team out.
Nice.
We generally have some sort of big party where everyone comes, helps pick grapes, and then actually they go back in the back, watch us make the wine, and then have a glass of wine while watching us work, which is always a little bit fun, but also a little bit heart-rending, you know, watching everyone else have a big party while we're working our tails off. But it's a really, really great time. We've actually just finished our first one this last Saturday, and it went perfectly. So
That's awesome. So let me ask you, so a lot of weddings out here, I take it?
Yep.
A lot of weddings. They cater their own food in?
They cater their food in.
Okay.
They can cater whoever they want. We have them use our wine, and then they can bring in whichever beer they like. So
Okay. And then how many can you seat here on those events, on those weddings? 300, 200?
We can do 350.
350.
Which is one of the larger spaces, obviously, in this part of the world. 300, I'd say, is the 225 to 300 is kind of that sweet spot where you know, you're not on each other's elbows, but we can go bigger than that. We've gone up to, we've actually had up to 700 people here on a weekend. So,
oh my, wow.
Which was too many, to be honest, but we can handle those larger events if necessary.
So, and then what other, so if I wanted to do my client appreciation party out here, and let's say in October, is that doable to come out here and do that in October?
100%. We have actually a number of small venues as well. So we've got the big 300-person venue. We have a 40-person venue, a 100-person venue that combines our tasting room space and our barrel room space, which are absolutely beautiful. We also have groups that'll rent the patio out here, and we really try and make that attractive, because we really want people to get together and have fun with their friends this time of year. And you know, there's some people that are more COVID conscious, so we've been really pushing patio events as a way to kind of get people together. We can fill up, and we set up a backup so that if the weather's bad, you actually just go straight inside. We've got a complete backup plan. We can handle your group inside, but we generally try and focus on this outdoor space.
So what would that cost me? So if somebody was interested in, so myself, doing a client appreciation party, and let's say 130.
Okay, 130?
Yeah. Sorry to put you on the spot here, but just throwing an estimate. You can just throw an estimate out there.
Well, we generally try and do it through a wine minimum. So if your friends like to drink, usually it's a few thousand for the wine minimum for a bigger event. For the smaller events, we'll go as low as $150 for the rentals of the space, and $150 wine minimum for something that's, you know, 50 people or less, and then we'll go all the way up to a few thousand. So.
Perfect. Okay. Well, you and I need to talk after this about that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I've got pricing sheets and everything available.
Perfect.
I mostly just focus on making sure the wine is good and that everyone is treated well here. That's always my goal first, and then everything else beyond that is kind of gravy. So.
And guess what, you guys? I get his discount for coming out here. No, I'm kidding. Absolutely. So let's talk about hours of operation. What's our hours of operation?
So right now we're open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Thursdays we're 3 to 8. Friday 1 to 7, and then Saturday and Sunday noon to 6. And that's in part because we have after-hours events. People will rent the space after hours. Additionally, we are a wine tasting room, so we want people to come out here, taste wine. Thursday nights we have live music. We're having food trucks starting here in September again when it's not 1,000 degrees. And we really want people to come out, enjoy it, have a glass of wine, maybe even the dreaded wine slushies.
Yeah.
And really sit out here, enjoy the weather, enjoy the beautiful view, and really kind of spend some time with their neighbors and friends.
So do we have a live band tonight?
We do not tonight because it is the harvest season. Once we finish up kind of that September 1st, we're going to have live music starting every weekend after that. So
nice. Okay, and then food trucks come in. I know because last time when I was riding by here, I saw the food truck coming right through here.
Yep, we've been partnering with a number of the food trucks. You know, that's one of those things that you can look actually on Facebook or on social media just to figure out our schedule, because one of the things that we're trying to do is be very responsible with our wedding parties and trying to make sure that when you are having your wedding day out here, you're the center of attention, you're the center of the world, you're the only thing that matters.
Yep.
And so sometimes our schedule is a little flexible on those wedding days.
Okay. So I noticed on your website there was a little link on there that said, hey, interested in helping with our harvest. Tell us a little bit about that.
So harvest is my favorite time of the year, maybe because I'm a masochist. But what we do is we'll actually come out, we pick grapes starting in our vineyard, usually around 7:30, 8 o'clock. We've got donuts, we've actually done some mimosas, things like that. You pick grapes for a few hours, and that's pretty easy. What you do is you just walk down the row of grapes. They're usually right around chest level, so you just take a little scissors, cut off the whole cluster, set them in a bin. Our staff does all the hard work, which is really great, really fun, makes it really nice and easy. It would actually be easier for us to just do the work ourselves most of the time, but we think it's really fun for everyone because there's nothing more special than coming back, getting to try a wine that you actually had part of the process of making. You actually get that connection. You see how this works. You really get to feel how wine works. Then what you do is we'll have a big party over here, usually around lunchtime. Everyone comes, we have a glass of wine. We actually do wine tastings in the vineyard, so you'll taste the grapes, and then you'll actually taste the previous year's wines made from that grapes.
Nice.
It's a really special experience because you really don't know how the grape is going to show through the wine until you've really done it side by side. And that's one of those things that I absolutely love.
So is there a cost to that?
It's actually complimentary. So we actually, I know everyone else charges. Everyone tells me I should charge. But I always still feel a little bit like Tom Sawyer making everyone paint their fence for them.
Yeah.
So we actually have no cost to it. We actually provide the lunch and provide wine for free. In exchange for everyone helping us actually pick our grapes and make our wine. So we have sign-ups through our website. We're booked up the next 2 weekends, but we'll have availability starting here in September.
Perfect.
The problem is the grapes are ready when they're ready. They don't always tell me when they're ready in advance, so we're always checking. Usually we'll have at least 2 weeks heads up as an educated guess, but we actually really do focus on trying to pick those grapes at the perfect time. And so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll have kind of emergency picks where the grapes need to come off. And we'll say, Thursday night, we're having a party.
You know what you should do when you guys do have those emergency picks? Send me something, and then I'll blast it over.
I will
Facebook
definitely do that because when it's an emergency, I am...
You're like, we need help. All hands on deck, right? All hands on deck.
Yeah, we had a sparkling grape pick a couple years ago where there was a huge thunderstorm coming in, and the grapes that would have dropped the grapes out of the right kind of sugar threshold. So we called all our neighbors, all our friends, church groups, people I went to high school with, everything. We got 75 people to come out with about 6 hours notice. We got all the grapes off, and actually that's one of these wines that we're
let's talk about these wines while we're
here
on
in front of you.
Let's talk about these.
So these are two of the wines that are really fun, that are very close to my heart. This one on the left is our first sparkling wine.
Okay.
We made that in the Method Traditionnel or the Method Champenois, which requires about more handwork than anything else we've done. We made about 75 cases of this wine, and it took us hundreds of man hours to finish that wine, which I'm really proud of. This one is our Zinfandel.
Which I love Zinfandel.
Yep. So we actually focus on locally grown grapes.
Okay.
But every year we get the opportunity. We find somebody on the West Coast that is one of the best grape growers in America, and we'll partner with them. These grapes were actually from California. We'll hire a team of drivers, refrigerated truck, but we'll do all the winemaking here. So there are two things that I'm really, really proud of. Two things that are really special that I'm proud to show people not only here locally, but anywhere in the world. So it's a really fun project.
That's great. So let's take a walk through out here a little bit, if you don't mind, and talk to us a little bit about this as we're walking here, and talk to me about any challenges you guys have had too.
Well, we've had a number of challenges. First, the weather.
Okay.
This year we've had a tornado that struck right off 191st that damaged some of our vines. We've had hailstorms. We've had all sorts of issues. We had a really rainy year in 2019 where actually we lost a large part of our crop. Basically, winemaking involves the two best businesses in the world, farming and janitorial work. And you combine really these two elements from that industry. So from the farming side, we'll have a late frost and we'll lose an entire crop. For instance, we didn't get any Lenore fruit. Lenore is one of my favorites. It's a Texas varietal from the 1500s. It's an heirloom. Absolutely adore it. Susceptible to late frosts. So we had a late frost here in May. we lost about 95% of that fruit. So we're not going to be able to make that commercially this year.
Yeah.
So that's been a huge challenge. Other challenges would be obviously the local zoning, regulatory side, and I'm sure, you know, in your industry you understand that completely. Yep. And then just the fact that Kansas winemaking, you're a little bit on an island. If something breaks, it's not like you're in California and you can go down the road and, you know, find a qualified technician or borrow that piece of equipment from your neighbor. You might be the only glycol chiller of this type within 5,000 miles. And literally we've had a piece of equipment break and we're fixing it with chewing gum and baling wire right in the middle. And if that thing goes down, we lose every single wine that we've made in the last year.
Wow.
And so that's been a huge part of the challenges. Just doing something really special in a way that there isn't a huge density of other businesses like this.
Okay. Talk to us a little bit about.
So this is kind of interesting. These are some of our table grapes. One of the things that we really focus on is actually growing varieties of grapes and apples that you won't see anywhere else, and certainly won't see them in the grocery store. So we grow 20 types of grapes, 25 types of apples, and 3 types of pears. And actually a lot of them are planted to be eaten by people when they're out here having fun on the patio, or if you bring your kids out, mom and dad can have a glass of wine, the kids can go pick a couple grapes, eat them, have fun.
Nice.
Really trying to make a family-friendly environment. We actually grow all these varieties. These are all developed by the same botanist. This is Venus, this is Mars here, and then it's Jupiter and Neptune. And they were all developed by the same botanist. Some of the most delicious grapes you'll ever try.
Really?
The problem is they don't ship well, so you'll never see them in the grocery store. We do the same thing with our apples. So for instance, one of my favorite apples personally is called Northern Transparent. It's got a very thin skin. It bruises easily. It looks ugly unless you eat it straight from the tree. And so one of the things we really think is fun is to incorporate in our landscape and in our design of the facility plants that you can eat, enjoy. You know, you put all this work into your yard, making everything look beautiful.
Yep.
What do you have at the end of the day? Your neighbor not hating you. That's basically it. For us here, what we're doing is we're really trying to make the place look beautiful, but also get something at the end of the day. So we'll have burgundy okra as part of the landscape design. So actually at the end of the day, we'll actually have something to eat or enjoy, or something to use in our alcohol projects. So our sister wineries, one of them's in Walla Walla, Washington, and that one's called Echolands, and then one of them is in Rocheport, Missouri, and that one's called Les Bourgeois for now. We're in the process of rebranding it, and we're actually getting ready to use some of the plants from around here for our gin projects.
So any grapes that we can try right now?
Yeah, here.
Let's see. Let's try one of these.
Let's try, this is Mars.
Okay.
So, here you go. They are just ripe. We just beat the raccoons. They've been really enjoying these just as much as anybody.
Oh, those are delicious.
So, very different from what you'd see in a normal, you know, grocery store grape.
Yeah.
Almost like a plum or a fig consistency. The skin's a little different. It's got like almost like a slip skin.
Yeah.
Where it comes off kind of as a group. It's a really, really neat one. Over here we've got Neptune, if the raccoons didn't get to it the other day. And these ones are a few days away, but this kind of gives you an idea of what they're supposed to look like. Here, there you go.
Thank you, sir.
And these are...
Oh, that's good. No, you want to try one of those?
I've got my mouth
All right, never mind.
But you know, these ones are a few days away from being ripe. Actually, you can see there was a little damage from the wind the other day.
You got a picture? You got a shot of that, Noah? Yep.
But it's one of those things that, you know, they're just absolutely beautiful clusters. And so when you're coming around here to harvest grapes, not always as easy as this. You'll actually cut that whole thing off, put it in the bin, and then we'll actually crush it and press it here on site.
So we're not doing old style and like stomping with our feet or anything?
Not unless everything's broken.
Not everything's broken.
So if all the machinery is working according to plan, we're doing it with the machinery.
Perfect, perfect. So talk to me about your guys' customer service.
Well, we do our best. One of the things that we really try and do is we try and replicate those experiences at wineries that we've loved, that got us excited about wine. You don't get excited about wine just because you taste it and you learn it. You have to have somebody explain it to you that first time. And I remember those experiences when I was 22, 23 years old, going to places that I had no right to be. Wineries, whether they're local here or in California, where someone took me by the hand and explained to me what I was experiencing. And so we really tried to build the experience that got us excited about wine, got me excited about wine. And so we really focus on doing tours, doing education. You know, everyone here, is basically brought on because they're excited and interested in wine. We can teach you about wine. We can't teach you how to be nice, to be a decent person.
That's
so you
for sure.
hire decent people and you teach them about wine.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's really one of the things that we do, because when you get started in customer service, it's really easy to get kind of in a rut.
Yep.
And for us, it's that experience of trying a wine. We really want to see in people's eyes that experience that got us excited about wine. And that's what I love about it.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Noah, do we have any questions on there at all? Nope.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect. I think you've answered anything. If anybody's going to be like sitting there, I don't have any question to ask. He's answered everything, right? Thank you so much for doing
thank
this.
you.
We truly appreciate that. Truly appreciate us coming down here and allowing us to do this.
I'm really excited that you rode your bike by. You
Well,
were
so
doing
am
what,
I.
50 miles that one day?
I did, yeah, absolutely.
You know, you looked like you had just gotten started, and I think you were about 30 miles in. So whatever your exercise regimen is, I need to start either cheating or pretending that one's mine. So
There you go. Absolutely. So again, Alex, thank you so much for hanging out here with us today,
been such a
allowing us to
pleasure.
hang out here. You guys, seriously, come on out here. And again, we're at Bourgmont Winery. Come on out here and go on, do some tasting here. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And
Yeah.
I would really recommend if you try and come, if you come at one of our less busy times, you know, beginning of the day on maybe a Friday or something, you can really get that personal experience. Our staff here is always trying to, you know, they're not just pouring wine. They're sharing a passion with you. And that's one of the things that we really love. So.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. You guys, hey, what's the best way they can reach out to you guys? Your website, Facebook, all that?
Website, Facebook, we have Instagram, you know, all the usual social media things.
Okay.
We also have, you know, our emails are all on the website, and you can also reach us by, you know, old-fashioned telephone. So,
Bourgmont.com?
yeah, yes.
BourgmontWinery.com?
You know, that's funny. You put me on the spot
I did
right
put him
now.
on the, I put him on the spot, you guys.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. We spend so much time worrying about making good wine that sometimes we forget about all the other stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure John Paul may be in there posting the website in there.
Perfect,
Posting it. So John Paul, hopefully you're watching right now so you can post the website and everything else on there. Absolutely. Do this for my man Alex right now.
Yep. Well, thank
Hey
you.
guys, as always, if you can always follow me at www.hospitalityhomeskc.com or my Facebook at hospitalityhomeskc. You guys, stay tuned. Next week, I will be back in the office at our studio there chatting with a good friend of mine. And then we've got some exciting stuff coming up in September. We're actually going to be going to a place down, and I'm not going to say it. It's in Overland Park, though, and it's sushi. That's all I'm going to say. It's sushi. Sushi. And we're actually going to have fun there at a restaurant there. So,
Well, thank you.
You
so
like
much.
sushi?
I love sushi.
So do I. I love sushi too. It's awesome. I know my son loves sushi, you know, but I love sushi. But again, you guys, as always, stay strong, stay healthy, and stay positive. And we're out, and we'll see you next week. Adios.